Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
Manuel Margot back in the lineup for the Padres today and leading off in this season against St. Louis. A 500 average, a double, and a triple for Margot. It's game one of a four-game series between the Padres and the St. Louis Cardinals. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with Mark Grant. Welcome to Padres baseball. We play day baseball today, and Luis Perdomo's on the mound. We talk a lot about his slider, but lately the fastball's been very good.
He can dice both sides of the plate. The two-seamer into righties, the slider down and away. So let's focus on the fastball out of the hand of Luis Perdomo. Mid-90s, he can throw it towards the heart of the plate, let the ball do the work, and get some swings and misses, but also get some ground balls as well. How about against the Cardinals last time out? 3 for 17, 176 average, and of course the double play. When he's in a pinch, runner first and second, concentrate down in the zone, get some movement, let the infielders work. He leads Major League Baseball that is, in ground ball percentage rate. Luis Perdomo.
Now, speaking of fastballs, today on the mound for the Cardinals is Carlos Martinez, and the Padres have got to kind of hunt that fastball.
What we've seen, Don, the last week or so from the hitters against pitchers who are dominant or can be dominant, go after that first pitch fastball, 1 or 2 pitches early, and take advantage of it. That's exactly what the Padres did against Martinez in St. Louis, 4 for 7. Now, here's a guy who can throw hard, 97, 98 miles an hour. Sometimes you get flattened out if he tries too hard, but let's see if they're early on the attack to get to Martinez. He had a tough outing against the Brewers last time, 10 hits in 5 2/3 innings, so he's got his work cut out for him as well.
Now the Padres just took 3 out of 4 from the Dodgers, trying to keep it going against the Cardinals. Luis Perdomo has had some tough defense behind him. Hope it improves today. Bob Scanlon will check in with the manager to discuss right after this. Where the pets go. And by Father Joe's Village. Call 1-800-HOMELESS or visit neighbor.org to make a tax-deductible donation of cash, cars, or furniture. The Padres and Cardinals, game 1 of the series. Before we get it started, let's send it down to Bob Scanlon. Bob?
Well, thank you, Don. Luis Perdomo going today, and as we've discussed, there have been a lot of errors made behind him. Now, that's not an indictment against the defense at all. When you throw a lot of ground balls, there's going to be more mistakes made behind you. The key is to be able to pitch over them. Keep your focus. Here's what Andy Green had to say about Perdomo's focus, especially in recent games.
He's gotten better. Pleased with the way he's stepped back off the mound, recentered himself, gone back to executing his pitches. And for us, it's about execution with him. It's not about results. If he executes, he'll get his results. If he chases results, he loses his execution, and then the results aren't what he wants or what we want. So I think he's in a really good mental place. He's been pushed hard by Darren Balsley lately, and I like that. I like that element with him and Lamet, like fighting together to like be a part of what we do in the future here, not just the rest of this year, and understanding like the bar we're clearing right now is not good enough for us. We got to clear a higher bar if we're going to be what we want to be.
Luis Perdomo has gone 6 innings or more in 8 straight ball games. He'll try to make it 9 today. One of the keys is staying out of the big inning, and of course one of the keys to that is being able to pitch over mistakes. If they should happen, keep calm and keep your focus. For now, it's the rematch. Luis Perdomo going up against Carlos Martinez. Nobody came out with the decision last time. Luis will try to keep the Padres winning streak going. Padres, Cardinals next, right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
Playing nice baseball. Very devastating pitch out of the hand of Martinez to the right-handed hitters. There is no better feeling. That's really a good-looking pitch and a great-looking result for Perdomo. He pitched really well tonight.
Well, the Padres ready to go today against the St. Louis Cardinals, as it'll be Luis Perdomo leading his team out onto the field to begin this 4-game series. Playing day baseball on this Labor Day Monday. The Padres hit the field, and Perdomo getting ready for start number 25 of the year. Now time now for the weather report, brought to you by your always sunny San Diego Honda dealers. Well, what a difference. It was in the 90s here yesterday, 73 degrees here today with a south breeze at 9 miles per hour. The forecast cloudy, and there is some gloominess above the stadium, kind of a hazy sunshine right now for the Padres and Cardinals. Don Orsillo, Mark Grant, and Bob Scanlon with you for the first 4, and with the Cardinals, their manager Mike Matheny, as we check out his starting lineup, brought to you by Hyundai. Matt Carpenter will lead it off at third base with Tommy Pham in left field. Paul DeYoung at shortstop with Jose Martinez at first base in the cleanup spot. Yadier Molina, the catcher, with Harrison Bader in center field. Greg Garcia at second base, bats seventh. Randall Grichuk is in right field, batting eighth. And Carlos Martinez, the pitcher, bats out of the ninth spot. On the hill today for the Padres is Luis Perdomo.
I just absolutely love this matchup. Perdomo Martinez, the 24-year-old making his 25th start. We talk about his strengths and weaknesses. We know about the slider. A lot of swings and misses. If he can just throw it off the plate, he'll get some punch outs as well. His tendency to have those sliders off the plate, and rather than just bouncing them, just off the plate a little bit to entice the hitters to swing away, and the slider and changeup off the fastball for Luis Perdomo.
Well, Matt Carpenter about to stand in to get it started today for the Cardinals.
Well, Donnie, it's Comic-Con Day today at Petco Park.
I noticed.
What superhero would you be? I mean, you're a superhero yourself, but if you were to dress up as a superhero, who's your guy?
I'd probably go Batman. I like Batman, although the outfit's a little tight. As the pitch is ball one, we are underway. Kind of form-fitting, probably not the best thing.
I'm going Superman. I want the S on my chest.
Nice. Now Carpenter will take the strike. Carpenter hitting at 241. And in the start at third base, 18 home runs for the leadoff hitter. Seems like the leadoff position has really changed across Major League Baseball. Of course, we see Charlie Blackmon quite a bit with the Rockies, and a lot of these leadoff guys now who have some pretty big power numbers, which is certainly very different from years past for leadoff men.
I think that's a great thing if you can get a guy to do that. I mean, one swing of the bat, rather than a single or a walk, one swing of the bat, you're up 1-0 just like that.
Tad low, 2-2. Well, Luis 7 and 8 on the year, a 4.69 earned run average. A shift on Carpenter, and he will take strike three. Good start for Perdomo. Strikes out the first Cardinal of the day. Well, check out the defense behind Perdomo, brought to you by Lincoln. Left to right across the outfield, it's Jose Pirela, Manuel Margot, and Jabari Blash. Corey Spangenberg at third base with Eric Ibar. Over 1,200 starts at shortstop, fourth among active shortstops, with Yangervis Solarte at second base. Will Myers at first, and Austin Hedges doing the catching for Luis Perdomo.
And hopefully some good defense today with Perdomo on the mound. If he's got that two-seamer working, they will be busy.
Tommy Pham has had some good numbers on the year and really been the most consistent Cardinal. He'll dribble one back towards the mound. And Perdomo with a good throw to first base, 2 down. So a strikeout and a ground out. And Paul DeYoung coming up. We just saw these Cardinals on last road trip, and this guy's very impressive. Coming up in the end of May, and DeYoung has put together a very good season. Playing every day for the Cardinals, and 21 home runs, 55 runs batted in since the end of May, and a 288 average for the Cardinals shortstop.
Talking to the Cardinal announcers when we went to St. Louis, and they just raved about this kid. He does everything right, the right way, plays hard. It's very, very solid. Nothing really flashy, but gets the job done. Puts together good at-bats, and the numbers show that.
Flared foul off to the right, out of play. The Cardinals just coming from San Francisco, and they have won 4 of their first 6 games to begin their 10-game road trip. Cardinals are going to be away. 13 of the next 19 will be away from St. Louis.
Yeah, they're 4 games below 500 down on the road at 32 and 36 entering to today's game.
So they're going to make it to the postseason. That has to improve in a big way. Now, meanwhile, the Padres taking 3 out of 4 from the Dodgers over the weekend. And remember, the Padres took 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals in St. Louis, August 22nd through the 24th, prior to the Padres moving on to Miami on that last road trip. Hesitation there from Perdomo, you'll see from time to time, but This is with the delivery to even the count at 2-2.
If you can master that, I kind of like it because it gets a hitter into a mode like, okay, when are you going to come forward? When are you going to go explode, release, right? But he's hanging. I think it kind of puts the hitter in limbo. And then you quicken it up at times.
Swing and a miss. DeYoung strikes out. 2 Ks in the first. Perdomo has a 1-2-3 first. Padres are coming up. Up in the bottom of the first inning. Andy Green has a lineup today that has Manuel Margot leading it off. Of course, Padres lineup brought to you by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. Margot in center with Ibar at short. Jose Perella in left with Yangervis Solarte at second base. Will Myers at first with Corey Spangenberg at third. Jabari Blash in right. Austin Hedges does the catching. He bats eighth. And Luis Perdomo out of the 9th spot batting ninth. Today the Padres have to deal with Carlos Martinez, the right-hander on the hill for St. Louis.
The 25-year-old right-hander making his 28th start. He's a ground ball specialist as well. Effective slider, only 145 opponent's batting average. And then the rest of his arsenal. He works very, very quickly as well. He likes to get that ball and get right back to work.
On the ground to shortstop, Paul DeYoung, a little bobble, stays with it, and his throw is late and dug out by Martinez, but it took too long, and Manuel Margot is aboard on the error committed by Paul DeYoung at shortstop.
Got to make that one hurt. Off the heel, can't find the handle. Margot going quickly down the line. Well, that's a quick infield. Margot sees the bobble, gets there just in time.
So error charge to DeYoung at shortstop, and Margot on to begin things here in the bottom of the first inning. Now Eric Ibar, who has settled back into his everyday shortstop job, and lines one to center field. Bader over towards left center to make the catch, go to the cap high. One down in the first as we check out the Cardinals defensively. Left to right in the outfield, Tommy Pham. Harrison Bader, we just saw one of the call-ups for the Cardinals. Randall Grichuk in right field. It is Matt Carpenter at third base, and Carpenter's 5th start at third base this season. Paul DeYoung at short. Greg Garcia at second. Jose Martinez at first. And Yadier Molina doing the catching for Carlos Martinez. 1 out, 1 on, and Jose Perella go to first, and relatively close, but Margot back to the bag. Bill Miller, the first base umpire and crew chief over there, making the call.
So the first 2 hitters, like you mentioned earlier, swinging early against Martinez.
Not waiting around.
Nope.
And going after that fastball, which is what we were talking about before the game. As that will kind of tie up Perella, jumping back out of the way.
Now, as a pitcher, if that's the MO of the opposition, and you want to throw the first pitch fastball, now you start to nitpick a little bit. Maybe hit the corner, ball 1. Ball 2. Now you're mixing the breaky ball. That's the next question. Can you throw it for a strike?
Lined and caught at second base by Garcia. Took a look to first, but no play. 2 down. Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
When we talk about the top of the order for the Cardinals, they had Colton Wong, they had Matt Carpenter, Tommy Pham, top of the order in St. Louis. If you keep those 2 off the base, I think you're going to have some success and keep everyone contributing. You take a look at yesterday's ball game, Sunday against the Dodgers. Everyone through the lineup did a nice job of getting on base, scoring some runs in the 6-4 victory against the Dodgers. So everybody get a hit. Join in on the fun on this Labor Day.
Here's Yangervis Solarte swinging at that first pitch and fouling it off to the left out play. Yangervis in his 105th game of the year. 15 home runs, and of course that 15th was a walk-off home run on Saturday. Game 1 of the day-night doubleheader against LA. Carlos Martinez, an even record coming in. 10-10. 3.52 earned run average. 28th start of the year for the Cardinals right-hander. Chop to first, and Martinez has got it. He'll tag the bag and end the inning. Well, they work around the error, scoreless after 1. As Yangervis Solarte with a walk-off home run in game 1 of the day-night doubleheader. Eric Ibar gets his first home run since his return to the lineup after coming off the DL. A win, and Jose Pirela 2 for 2 with a home run and an RBI as part of the 6-4 win. It was a fun weekend if you're a Padres fan, as the Padres take 3 out of 4 from the LA Dodgers.
Donnie, I want to give you credit because we were talking ball before this game started. And I want to tip my cap to you, my friend.
Why is that?
Because I was aware of it, but I wasn't aware of it by so many games. The Padres at home right now, 38-32.
6 games over.
And talk about the Padres' overall record, how many more wins they have than the other teams you were mentioning.
Well, we were taking a look at the standings today, and the Padres have 62 wins on the year. And we were looking at it, there are 7 teams that have fewer wins than what the Padres currently have this year. And it is really a testament to the way they've been playing. You look back over really since the All-Star break, and maybe even a little bit before that. But yeah, at home, 6 games over 500 here at Petco Park. A lot of it's had to do with the starting pitching. We're talking about what they've done the last 7 days. 2-1 pitch is wrapped foul over by the Cardinals dugout. Off the bat of Jose Martinez. Nice play by the bat boy over there. Saving the Cardinals dugout. Watch this. From his chair, leaps up and makes the grab.
Beautiful.
Jose Martinez will take the 2-2 for ball 3. First baseman, cleanup hitter. Covering around 300 all year, sitting at 299 today. 11 home runs, 31 runs driven in. Good first inning for Perdomo. Had a 1-2-3 first on 12 pitches and struck out 2, but a leadoff walk opens up the second inning. So lead runner on for St. Louis, and it brings up Yadier Molina.
Well, I've always mentioned about Yadier Molina and the double play candidate that he is. Prime candidate. 10 times he's grounded into a double play this year.
15 home runs, 62 runs batted in for Molina. He spins out of the way of a pitch running in. The last 14 games, Molina's been hot at the plate, hitting at .340. 18 for his last 53 with 8 RBIs and 7 runs scored for Molina. So much better lately at the plate. He is deep in the box on the right side. That back foot right on the line. He'll take the strike, and it evens at 1-1. Leadoff walk by Jose Martinez starts the second inning. Held on by Will Myers, who does not straddle the bag, plays off the bag per usual. On the ground softly but foul, 1-2.
Oh, he wanted to. That two-seamer down and away. You see right-handed hitters try to hook that ball. That's the perfect pitch, perfect formula to roll 2.
Perdomo leading all major league pitchers with 62.4% ground ball percentage. And trying to induce one right here to turn a double play. Fly ball instead headed out towards right center field. Margot will make the catch in front of the warning track. Bluffing as if he was going to go was Martinez. He draws the throw but returns to the bag at first with now 1 down.
Well, that's why as an outfielder, get into that baseball in the gap, you got to get it and spin and throw, get it in. If he bluffs, he bluffs. It's exactly what Manuel did. Positioned himself, caught it, and spinning towards his glove side to get that ball in quickly.
1 on, 1 out, and it brings up Harrison Bader. One of the September call-ups for the Cardinals. 333, 2 homers and 4 runs batted in 9 games for Bader.
He's a Gator.
Bader the Gator?
Yeah. University of Florida. I was talking to some of the Cardinal people. They said that it's kind of like the same type of Tommy Pham type player. Hard-nosed guy, gets it.
Throw to first, and a very short lead over there for Martinez. Not a problem getting back.
Bader signed in 2015, so the fast track to the big leagues. September call-up this year. His 3rd year in professional baseball.
Already has 2 major league home runs. Grabbed one yesterday. Jumps back out of the way of a pitch in tight. Started in center field yesterday, starts in center field today. And his first major league home run on Friday night. Multi-hit game for him. He was up earlier this season very briefly, July the 25th, and went back on the 31st. Grounds it softly towards short. Ibar charging in, will go to second base for the force out. So didn't really think he had to play at first. Ended up getting the lead runner as it turned out at second base, and is out number 2. So Martinez erased. Bader will reach it first, and Greg Garcia coming up.
That's impressive. ERA by league division. You talk about the NL Central Redbirds, and you know what? You travel there once, right? Out of the division. So you think of those ballparks: Chicago, St. Louis, Milwaukee. St. Louis is pretty fair.
Pittsburgh and Cincinnati.
Cincinnati pitching on the moon.
Greg Garcia bats. Runner takes off. Pitches a strike. Throw is not in time. Stolen base for Harrison Bader. Imar thinks he got him on the foot before the hand got to the bag and was pointing into the dugout for the Padres to challenge this. Andy Green has not made a decision yet as he waits to hear from Mark McGwire. We'll get a look.
Oh, it's going to be close. You know, high leg kick, breaking ball, and still a strong throw from Austin Hedges.
Padres are not going to challenge. Stolen base for Bader. Puts him in scoring position now with 2 down. Pitch was a strike to Greg Garcia. On the ground, right side to Solarte. So take care of business, and it's out number 3 of the second inning. Inning and a half done without a score. Coming up for the Padres, Will Myers will lead it off. He's been hot at the plate lately. He'll lead it off. We come back in a scoreless game from Petco Park.
Cardinals as we head to the bottom of the second inning. And guys, one thing to keep an eye on with Carlos Martinez today is his position on the rubber. He's towards the third base side today. Earlier in the season, he's on the first base side today. Earlier in the season, he was on the third base side. The reason it could be relevant is he's had some troubles in his splits against left-hand batters. They've hit it over 60 points higher than against right-handers, and one of the issues has been his ability to locate that slider. Now, when he's going well, he can locate it on the outside corner, but on that first base side, it changes his release point, and he's been leaking some sliders on the inside part of the half to lefties that they've been able to do some damage on. So something to keep an eye on today, guys, his ability to locate that backdoor slider and whether left-handers for the Padres can take advantage of it.
All right, Scant, thanks very much. We'll keep an eye on that as Will Myers leads it off here in the bottom of the second inning and fouls it off over by the Redbirds dugout. Well, Will Myers, you mentioned, has been hitting better. 10 for his last 30 at .333. Last 8 games. 19 games prior to that, he was hitting at 164. So he'll take it the other way to right field, and Grichuk over towards the line to make the catch. 4 in a row retired by Carlos Martinez. 1 down here in the last of the second inning. 1 out brings up Corey Spangenberg. Back at third base defensively for San Diego. 274, 13 homers, and 46 runs batted in for Corey. Spangenberg fouls it back and is down 0-2. Well, for Carlos Martinez, last time out, 5 2/3 innings. Took the loss in a Cardinals 6-5 defeat against the Brewers on Wednesday. Martinez was charged with 6 runs, 3 earned in the 5 2/3. So not coming off a great outing for him at all.
That'll stick with pitchers, believe me. You want to get out there quickly so you can rebound and put up good numbers. And it's like, okay, what did I do wrong last time to correct that? Well, hopefully the Padres can get a lot of hits and base runners. If you take a look at slider, taken right down the middle.
Swing and a miss, and Spangenberg strikes out. First K of the day for Carlos Martinez. 2 down.
Hey, Wednesday, catch Major League Baseball on FS1 as Eric Hosmer and the Royals slug it out against Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers. Don't miss Royals versus Tigers Wednesday, 4 Pacific on FS1.
Two down in the second inning, and Jabari Blash with a check swing. Did he go? No. Check with Bill Miller, first base umpire, didn't offer. Jabari Blash, 5 homers, 16 runs batted in. Playing every day now in right field. Swing and a miss, and Blash swinging over the top of that. 1 and 2 on the changeup.
Yeah, that's a very good changeup from Martinez. Oh, see how the pronates there? Turns in. Letting go of the ball. Your arm pronates. That's natural. You know pronate? You went to Northeastern. When your arm pronates. So when you throw a fastball, your arm naturally. Did you ever see a quarterback throw when they throw? Bam. Pronation. Turning in. You saw it on that changeup from Martinez. Big time.
Strike 3 call. Back-to-back Ks for Martinez. 2 strikeouts in all. 2 innings in all without a score.
The fastball, Luis Perdomo on the hill today. Let's check it out. The two-seamer at 93. He changes speeds on it, throws it to different quadrants of the plate. That results in ground balls. Can't square it up. Fly balls, easy outs. Anywhere from 93 to 96 on the two-seamer. Oh, what a weapon from Luis Perdomo with that fastball, changing speeds. It's actually 2 or 3 different types of pitches.
Third inning, and Randall Grichuk to lead it off here for the Cardinals. And a check swing, one hopper out to shortstop and Ibar. Quickly throws him out. One down here in the third inning. And bring up the pitcher, Carlos Martinez. Kind of an interesting note, Martinez and Perdomo both, as they're about to go head-to-head here, both signed as amateur free agents. Both out of the Dominican, and both signed by the Cardinals in 2010. Martinez was signed in April 2010, while Perdomo was signed in November. And of course, the Padres kind of plucked him from the Cardinals in the Rule 5 draft, and spent last year with the Padres all year and back with them again this year. But Perdomo easily could have stayed in the organization. Same time, and imagine Martinez and Perdomo in the same rotation even at one point. But Padres have Perdomo now, and they're certainly glad to have Luis. He has been very good.
Yeah, I was checking the media guys for both pitchers, and they never crossed paths, played in the same city with the Cardinal organization. Hey, Padres gain, right?
Absolutely. Perdomo spending 5 seasons in the minor leagues with the Cardinals before being claimed as a Rule 5 pick by the Rockies initially in 2015. Carlos Martinez, 9-for-48 at the plate, a 188 hitter. And batting with one down, bases empty for St. Louis. On the ground up the middle, into center field, a base hit for the Cardinals pitcher. This Perdomo threw that leg out like he was going to try to knock it down, but he's already by him and into center. That's the first hit of the day for St. Louis, and their pitcher, Carlos Martinez, has the single.
2-2 slider away. So all during the off-season transaction right there for Luis Perdomo.
One out, one on, and Matt Carpenter standing in. Center fielder Margot into left center, gap out there in right center. Carpenter's second look today at Luis Perdomo. As Carpenter struck out looking in the first inning. 2 Ks so far for Perdomo. And in the shift here, and it's going to work out pretty well, looks like. Spangenberg to first for the double play. Oh, nicely situated there defensively in a perfect spot. 5-3 on the DP with the out at second base that gets it started. Spangenberg with a nice play. Game break, Cincinnati Reds, Billy Hamilton with a walk-off home run to beat the Brewers 5-4, and they celebrate in Cincinnati. All the games so important right now for Milwaukee as far as the Central goes. And the Brewers to start the day 3.5 games back of the Cubs, but in the wild card scenario they had gotten within just half a game of the Colorado Rockies. So big loss there today for the Brewers, with the Reds enjoying the walk-off win.
Yeah, before that game, the Brewers really having the Reds' numbers, winning 9 of 13. So yes, that's a huge blow for the Brew Crew.
Well, last of the third, and leading it off is Austin Hedges. We'll take strike one. Look at the Central right now. The Cardinals 6 games behind the Cubs. Cubs playing very good baseball, now starting to get some breathing room atop the NL Central. And the second half has been very big for the Cubs after kind of a so-so first half. Their starting pitching improving a lot as the second half began.
Isn't it funny, we just got on the subject of the Dodgers. Did they peak too high?
Too early.
Too early, and the way the Cubs have turned it around.
And Carpenter at third plants and throws and retires Hedges for the first out here at the bottom of the third. Here comes Luis Perdomo. For 36 at the plate for Perdomo, works out to 111. No homers and 3 runs batted in. Making his 25th start today, and a liner to second base, and Greg Garcia hauls it in for out number 2.
MLB.com at bat is your #1 mobile app for live Padres baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Padres home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today.
Two down, and Manuel Margot will take strike one. Margot fouls it off down by the shoe tops. Down 0-2. Check swing and a ball running away. And Margot reached on a miscue by Paul DeYoung. Shortstop at first base, fielding error. Foul typically gets a piece of Yadier Molina. One-two pitch, and it is back up the middle into center field. Margot's got himself a base hit with 2 down here in the 3rd inning. First hit of the day for San Diego.
Talk about fastballs, being aggressive on the fastball from Martinez. He wants it down and away. Oh, actually, you know what? That's an off-speed pitch. I stand corrected. Off speed, up. There goes the no-hitter.
Two down, Margot at first. Brings up Eric Ibar. Quick toward first, and diving back is Margot. Fly ball headed out towards left center field. From center comes Bader into left center, and he'll make the catch that ends the inning. Scoreless after 3.
You can't have academic achievement, athletic success, all at the same spot.
This place isn't for everybody. You're going to be challenged athletically, academically, and socially.
USD is a top academic school, and you'll win in football.
Tomorrow on Inside San Diego Sports, we follow USD football through the first week of practice, leading up to their Week 1 matchup against Western New Mexico. Tomorrow after Padres Live.
Well, it's into the top of the fourth inning we go, and Tommy Pham leading it off. Paul DeYoung and Jose Martinez swinging along with us here as we move to the fourth inning. And so far, so good for Luis Perdomo out of the gate today, it appears, Mark.
Yeah, and we mentioned on our pregame show with the amount of right-handed hitters today, it's going to probably bring that slider into play. He has shown that two-seam success today with a couple punch-outs and looking comfortable in a good rhythm.
Well, second time through for him here. Second time Pham has seen him, and Tommy Pham grounded back to the mound in the first inning, 0 for 1. Back to him again, but this time it'll get up the middle into center field. Ill advised, but Perdomo threw out that bare hand, the pitching hand, and gets by him into center field. Leadoff single for Pham. It's time for the Arco top tier player profile. Now we'll take a look at Paul DeYoung, National League leaders. Made his major league debut on May the 28th. And since then, Giancarlo Stanton with 40, but DeYoung with 21 in that time. Bellinger, Goldsman, and Votto. Home runs since May the 28th. And he's been impressive. Struck out his first time up today and comes in with the 21 home runs on the year.
That's what I love about baseball. The stories that evolve. Now, obviously, Paul DeYoung was part of their organization, hopefully coming up and being successful. But it's those stories that you go through the year, like Jose Perella for the Padres, also Carlos Asuaje, things you're not expecting. Mike Matheny wasn't expecting that production from Paul DeYoung. 21 home runs.
Runner goes. DeYoung swings and misses. Throw down is high, and it is a stolen base for Pham. Second stolen base of the game now for St. Louis. And Pham may hurt himself there on the slide in. And it was the tag that he maybe got slapped with.
Ooh, the helmet came up, got him.
Ooh, came up, hit him right in the face. A bit of a bloody nose right now for Tommy Pham, with the helmet popping back up and hitting him in the nose after it came off his head on the headfirst slide into second base on the stolen base for Tommy Pham. Appears to be okay and going to stay in the game. A base hit and a stolen base as Pham at second. There's a strike to DeYoung, so 1-1 to Paul DeYoung. At bats here with runner at second and nobody out here in the Cardinals' fourth inning.
I want to see what type of swings, if any, DeYoung takes against with that two-seamer in, trying to really get those hands out, trying to push the ball to the right side, trying to get that runner over. And there's a huge gap in between the pillow and Will Myers at first base.
balls and a strike here to DeYoung. Look at there, all kinds of space over there. Over on the second base side of first is Myers.
And if I'm pitching, I want him to keep the ball on the left side to keep that runner at second base.
Ball 4, and he loses DeYoung. That was the second walk allowed by Perdomo. 2 on, nobody out now in the 4th inning. Well, that'll bring up Jose Martinez, cleanup hitter for the Cardinals.
Well, at the beginning of the year, Martinez was just a bat off the bench. He has been productive. Obviously, you see the runners in scoring position. Perfect scenario for a double play ball for Luis Perdomo.
Yeah, he's grounded into 6 this year. Going to this game only 197 at bats.
A big day yesterday, 2 doubles and a home run, and 3 for 3 in the ball game as he'll take ball 1.
I think Mike Matheny understands that whoever's hot right now, especially in the middle of the order, you have Tommy Pham, obviously Paul DeYoung, but you're going to find somebody that is consistent. It gives you that consistent approach. Every win is a priority. It comes down to the St. Louis Cardinals this time of year.
Jose Martinez has been hot, 7 for his last 15 at the plate. That's with Pham at second, DeYoung at first. Nobody out here in the 4th inning. That one almost hit him. 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
Oh, Luis needs to make an adjustment. Something pound down and away, kind of falling off the side a little bit. Arm will drag. Big pitch here. There you go. Oh.
Ball 3. That looked like a pretty good pitch. 3-0. Wow.
Wow.
That's a strike.
Yes, it was.
Call the ball. 3-0. Adam Hamari calling the balls and strikes today. And there's a strike. It's 3-1. Perdomo trying to work his way around a base hit and a walk here to begin things in the 4th inning. On the ground, but foul outside of third, and a full count now to Martinez.
I think in this situation as a pitcher, you go with your bread and butter. He's got a darn good slider, but you have the confidence to throw it 3-2, or you stick to the 2-seamer down, beat it in the ground, take a chance of getting a double play. I say you stick with the 2-seamer.
I agree. So hard to elevate. Even when you see that fastball, you usually hit the top half of the ball.
50th pitch of the outing for Perdomo, and a liner into left field for a base hit. Pham being stopped at third as Perella is up and throwing it to the plate. Bases now loaded for the Cardinals with nobody out here in the 4th inning.
Well, the duties of a third base coach, Chris Maloney. There's a lot going on there. Even when the runner gets to the bag, pick up. Oh, then he picks him up at the last second, puts on the stop sign. Pham was watching where that ball was, if it was going to be bobbled, possibly.
Bases loaded, nobody out, and Yadier Molina coming up. Pretty good opportunity right now for St. Louis. Molina first time up, flied out to center field. 0 for 1 on the day. Outside for ball 1. That's how hot he's been, hitting at .340 in the last 14 games. Career .307 hitter with the bases loaded, 5 grand slams on his resume. And a fly ball headed out towards deep left center field. Pirela going back onto the warning track, can't catch it. It's off of him and onto the track, scoring his fan. DeYoung will score, and that'll play 2 for the Cardinals. I think Pirela got his glove on it out there in left center field, but could not catch it. And St. Louis jumps on top 2-0.
Mark, you were talking about earlier, pitches easier to elevate. This is most definitely one that Molina takes to the left center field gap. Now the race is on to try to catch that ball. It gets extended on that one. Up. Looked like a catchable ball off the glove. Tough break for Luis Perdomo.
Chopper foul outside of third off the bat of Harrison Bader. At bats with 2 on, nobody out. And a base hit and 2 RBIs for Yadier Molina. Right off the heel of the glove, though, for Pirela. So 2 on, 2 in, nobody out. Bader. They'll take a pitch downstairs, and it's a ball and a strike.
They ruled that a hit?
They did.
I think that's got to be an error. That's
shocking.
One guy's opinion.
Check swing foul just above the Padres dugout. Bader grounded into a fielder's choice in the second, stole a base. Cardinals have stolen 2 bases in this game. Martinez at second, Molina at first. Check swing, did he go? No, says Bill Miller, first base umpire and crew chief.
Well, we talk about mindsets all the time, right? It's part of being a big league. You got to erase it, and you have to concentrate on one pitch and minimize the damage in this inning. Still nobody out. One pitch can get you 2 outs.
Full count now. Already walked 1 in the inning. Swing and a miss, needed that. Reaches back for a little extra. 98 on the fastball there to strike out Bader.
Well, they got on top of this 2-seamer. Watch that late movement. Swinging on top of it. Big strikeout for Perdomo.
First out here, the 4th inning, and it brings up Greg Garcia. Grounded out to second base in the 2nd inning. On the ground towards short. Ibar will flip to second for 1. On to first in time. Nice play. Padres turning their second double play of the game. Couldn't have come at a better time there, as they're able to turn it. 2 runs in the inning for the Cardinals. 6-4-3 on the inning ending double play. 2-0 St. Louis.
They're always with a high anticipation of how Yachty will use them and help them. A lot of times a young pitcher is going to need a veteran like Yachty or like Adam to explain the art of pitching more so than just the gift of throwing, and should open up a whole nother level for all these young pitchers.
Interesting, Mike Matheny, who is a catcher in his own right, talking a little bit about Yadier Molina. He's really like having another coach, kind of an extension of the coaching staff, and working with the young pitchers, and certainly a great thing when you have a catcher of his ilk, Yadier Molina, to help out those young arms.
First of all, if I'm a pitcher coming up in the Cardinal organization, I walk into that clubhouse and see Yadier Molina, I'm like gravitating towards him. I mean, it's not just the gold gloves, it's just not all the way he handles himself, the captain back there, but just his presence in the clubhouse and the dugout. And he's going to hate me by the end of the year.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to try to find out as much as I can. How could you not? Right, Mark?
Yeah, and then you made a good point with Hector Sanchez when you guys had him on the other day, how animated he is. I think Yadier Molina, it's magnified. He's an everyday catcher. He commands that presence behind there, that respect that you got to have with him.
Perella pops it up right around the mound. They're coming from everywhere, but it'll be the shortstop, Paul DeYoung, who takes charge and makes the catch.
I think if you're trying to script a club and you have a presence like that, I think Perez for the Kansas City Royals also comes to mind. That's the guy that you want, because you're executing a game plan, yes, but you have to have some credibility, and I think he's the difference maker when it comes to a position player that changes your whole ball club.
One down here in the fourth inning. Yangervis Solarte will take strike one. Such an important position too. You think about how much a good starting catcher impacts the entire pitching staff. Relievers, starters, doesn't matter. All part of the game plan. And of course, so many turn into good managers as well, pointing to Mike Matheny and others who now manage in Major League Baseball. Former catchers who thinking game plan while they're playing.
Yeah, Mike Scioscia comes to mind. Obviously, when Mike Matheny being around him, he has that presence, but he also has a high expectation of what that position brings.
A lot of time for Bruce Bochy. He was a backup catcher, so he's got a lot of time to think and watch.
Joe Madden, a minor league catcher.
Yeah, that's right.
But they also know how to manipulate a bullpen, which I think is how you are judged as a manager. But with that relationship that Yachty here has had with Carlos Martinez, remember, he came up to the big leagues as a reliever. But I remember in the playoffs, he kept on commanding him. Keep throwing that slider, keep throwing that slider. Well, he's evolved into a #1 pitcher in the game of baseball. I think a lot of credit has to go to Yadier Molina.
On the ground, foul again outside of first, out ahead.
You know, when you look at positions on the field, think of your responsibility. Isn't it right to where the catcher, he needs to know everybody's responsibility. Bunt plays, who's going to be covering, got to know the pitching staff, their tendencies, got to know the relievers, got to know the hitters coming up to the plate to keep the pitchers on track.
It's jammed there, in on the thumbs and sent foul off to the left.
Guys, there's so many little things from a catcher standpoint, how he's set up, some of the things that he indicates to the infielders of where the pitch is going to be thrown so they can react differently. He changes the game because of that, the way he sets up.
Eighth pitch of the at-bat coming up here to Solarte. And he strikes out. Hard stuff up and away at 98. And Solarte chases. That's the third strikeout for Carlos Martinez. Speaking of Carlos Martinez, time for some cold hard facts brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Most ERA against the National League West, 2.49 for Carlos Martinez. Clayton Kershaw against his own division, a 1.65 earned run average. Two down for Will Myers. Myers flied out to right field in the second inning. And Carlos Martinez, even with that loss against the Brewers on Wednesday, 3-1 in his last 5 starts with a 3.21 earned run average. That's including the 6 runs he gave up in 5 2/3 against Milwaukee last time out. Myers fouls it off, stays alive here. 0-2.
Mark, what you were talking about Molina behind the plate. Like, let's say this right-handed hitter Martinez, right, up at the plate. If there's a slow breaking ball being caught, Molina will motion with his glove behind the hitter.
Yes.
He'll kind of flap it, saying, hey, heads up, we got a soft pitch coming. He might be coming your way. Or maybe a changeup. It's going to speed up the hitter's bat just to give the indication to the third baseman, particularly Matt Carpenter in this situation, hey, something might be coming your way because he's going to be out in front of it.
Yeah, because they're not afforded to see the signs that he's putting down.
On the ground, deep short, and by the dive. And DeYoung in the left field. Will Myers has himself a 2-out base hit. Second hit of the day for San Diego.
Well, similar sequence that he threw to Jabari Blash. That was a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. You see Myers getting out in front of that pitch. Previous changeup. And then he gets that fastball and rifles it past DeYoung.
Two down, Myers at first and Corey Spangenberg the batter. Was a strikeout victim back in the second inning and fouls this down the left field line out of play. One of 3 strikeouts so far in the day for Carlos Martinez. Throw to first, and Myers diving back, went to the outfield side of the bag, and good thing he did. That was relatively close. Elevates the fastball, and Spangenberg couldn't catch up. 0-2. Pitch 50 coming up here for Carlos Martinez.
You'll see watch Molina when he sets up. He takes a peek over at first base to see what Myers is doing. Just being aware of that running game.
On the ground to second, and Greg Garcia will go to first for the out. That ends the 4th inning. We played 4. Cardinals have a 2-0 lead. redcross.org or texting the word Harvey to 90999. By doing that, you make a $10 donation. Your donation enables the Red Cross to prepare for, respond to, and to help people recover from this disaster. We play along here to the 5th inning, and Greg Garcia going to lead it off against Luis Perdomo with the Cardinals on top 2-0. St. Louis getting 2 runs in their half of the 4th inning. One pitch, and Grichuk will take it outside. 2-1. Grichuk grounded out to shortstop in the 3rd inning. 0 for 1. Fouled off at the dish, and it's 2-2. Perdomo with 3 strikeouts. He has walked 2 through the first 4 innings. Sun shining right now here at Petco Park. Started under kind of hazy sunshine and some clouds above. Perdomo wanted that. Thought he picked up the outside corner, but misses away. Full count. Dealing with Grichuk, Martinez, the pitcher, and then the top spot, and Matt Carpenter here in the 5th.
Gosh, that's got to be frustrating for a right-handed hitter with a 2-seamer like that. Just beating it into the ground.
Yeah, you're swinging at that location out of his hands. And then the movement and also the depth of that 2-seamer when he gets on top of it. Very difficult to square up.
Grichuk leads it off here with a walk in the 5th inning. 3rd walk allowed by Perdomo. 2nd time this game that he's allowed a leadoff walk, and he's up to 66 pitches. The runner at first and nobody out here in the 5th inning.
You got to be careful here with it. Cardinals have been aggressive on the base paths. 2 stolen bases already today.
Now stolen base for Bader, stolen base for Pham, and Perdomo trying to keep him close, goes over to first base right away.
Well, this might be a bad idea during the sequence of these pitches. Austin Hedges has that front door open with Martinez. Maybe a pick down to first base with Will Myers playing there. Maybe getting too big of a secondary lead for Grichuk.
Martinez squaring, now pulls it back and swings away for strike 1. This has already got a base hit in this game as Carlos Martinez with a single to center in the 3rd. Halfway in the middle. And at 3rd is Spangenberg in case he does decide to bunt. Already squaring again. And this time gets it down. It's a fair ball. Or is it? Hit him outside the box, which would make him out. Dead ball would bring the runner back to first. If that's the call the home plate umpire Adam Hamari is making here. Or he interfered, one or the other.
Yeah, I think he stayed in the batter's box, which obviously interfered with Austin Hedges getting out there and getting the ball.
Hedges tried to push him out of the way to get to that ball. And Matheny out to argue it, but so Martinez retired. Grichuk remains at first base. Two unassisted is how you'd score that.
You are correct, sir.
So 1 down and Grichuk at first base. Carpenter the batter, 3rd time in this one. He struck out and grounded into a double play. Perdomo's been able to induce 2 double plays in this game. Padres took 2 out of 3 in St. Louis. First time these 2 teams met as part of the season series this year. And first of 4 here today. And well, since 2013, most extra base hits. Matt Carpenter 4th in that category. Very impressive list. And a strike from Perdomo.
Well, that first pitch slider does wonders for an at-bat for a pitcher.
Pitch 70 coming up here for Perdomo. And a check at first base, but Grichuk back to the bag.
Get that two-seamer in.
Fly ball down the left field line. Pirela over towards the seats, and Pirela will lead into the crowd and make the catch down the left field line. No. Very close. Pirela had it lined up, it looked like, but could not make the grab. Off the glove. And he goes into the seats. One out, and Grichuk still at first base, and it's 0-2 here to Carpenter. Gets another opportunity.
Going with the two-seamer in again.
Fly ball down the left field line. Pirela headed over towards the corner this time, and he won't have a play. Time down for the Bill Howe plays of the game and a couple double plays for Perdomo. The first one coming in the third inning with a shift on, and Spangenberg and the 5-3 DP, and then a 6-4-3 twin killing started by Eric Ibar, the shortstop. Double play in the third, double play in the fourth inning. One out, one on, and Carpenter down 0-2.
Last start for Perdomo. I think Austin Hedges doubled up a lot with that two-seamer in. See if he does in this scenario too. Looks like they're going slider.
Evens up at 2-2. Elmo trying to work his way around a leadoff walk to Randall Grichuk. Started things here in the fifth. Center fielder Manuel Margot over to left center. Big gap out in right center.
You think you might be going here, Mark Sweeney? Maybe just a thought? Put him in motion, maybe?
They've been aggressive today. Usually that's their style if they see something.
Full count now. 75th pitch coming up here for Perdomo with one out in the fifth inning.
Let's see if Matheny puts him in motion to try to stay out of the double play with the sinker baller out there. Carpenter has grounded into 4 this year. Does not ground into a lot of double plays.
Padres shifting with Spangenberg, third baseman on the right side of the infield. Like the at bat here, 8th pitch of the at bat coming up for Matt Carpenter. Swing and a miss, and Perdomo strikes him out. 4th strikeout for Luis Perdomo. 2 down.
Well, guys, can you say 96 with movement? Wow. That's throwing the ball towards the center of the plate and letting the ball do the work. That's unbelievable. That's a wiffle ball. You know those wiffle balls you get at the store? They got the holes on the one side. You turn the holes to the inside, it just comes off the table there. Nasty.
So 2 down, Grichuk at first base, and here's Tommy Pham. Cardinals left fielder, 1 for 2. Pham with a single his last time up, stole second base and scored the Cardinals' first run. Cardinals getting their 2 runs in the 4th inning off Luis Perdomo, the only runs of the contest so far. Up the middle, ranging his Ibar. He will have no play anywhere. Trying to get it out of the glove, and transfer really couldn't get a handle on it. Momentum was carrying him to the outfield grass, and it'll be an infield hit for Tommy Pham, and first and second now for St. Louis.
Oh, can't find the handle. And you know what? If it was out on the outfield grass, he would have had to have a lot on that backhand if he were to feed it to second base. And that's why, as a base runner, you always have to hustle. Go in the next 90 feet, especially on the ground to the infield. You don't know if that infielder is going to get it. You don't want the inning to end that way.
Young with a swing and a miss. Third look at Perdomo today. Cardinals are 2 for 5 with runners in scoring position so far in the game. Young struck out swinging in the first, walked and scored in the 4th inning. Look out, that one hits him to load the bases. And the hit batsman loads him up here with 2 down. Above the knee, looked like. This is loaded, 2 down, and Jose Martinez been on twice. Walking the second, a single in the 4th. Outside ball 2, 2-0.
Fine, time to make an adjustment here. Can't go 3-0. Bases loaded. Got to throw your bread and butter pitch. And that warrants a visit from pitching coach Darren Balsley.
Well, as you said, Don, Martinez has been hot of late. 500 in his last 16 at bats. So this is an important pitch in this ball game. Martinez throwing the ball well. I want to keep it at 2-0 in this situation.
Looks like Eric Ibar is doing some translating for Luis there.
Plate umpire Adam Amari out there. Break up the conference, and back to work Perdomo will go here. Falling behind 2-0. 2 outs, bases loaded situation here.
Pitch of the at bat, don't you think?
Sure is.
Workload's been heavy the last 2 innings as far as pitches thrown, and he's up to 82 total. Jose Martinez, who has walked and singled already on the day. Lifts a fly ball to right field, sending Jabari Blash back onto the dirt of the track to make the catch in front of the wall. The Cardinals leave them loaded. St. Louis on top 2-0. Getting out of a jam there was Luis Perdomo as the Cardinals leave him loaded in the top half of the 5th inning. St. Louis on top 2-0. As we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, and a change at third base for St. Louis. Alex Mejia taking over third for Matt Carpenter. Not sure what happened to Carpenter. Leading it off here for the Padres, Jabari Blash made the catch to end the threat for the Cardinals in the top half of the inning, and takes a breaking ball for strike one. Jabari struck out looking in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1. 3 strikeouts on the day for Carlos Martinez. He's operating with a 2-run advantage and still throwing hard. That pitch at 97 miles an hour. Blash with a swing and a miss, down by way of the K for the 2nd time today. 4 strikeouts for Carlos Martinez.
Oh, you remember the first at bat, he got struck out with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. That's the changeup. Multiple looks by Martinez.
Time call. Very late there by the home plate umpire Adam Hamari. The Saxy section rooting on Austin Hedges. In there for strike 1-1. Austin grounded out to the 3rd baseman at the time, Matt Carpenter, in the 3rd inning. Strike 2. Action in the Padres pen. Phil Maton, Miguel Diaz. Luis Perdomo had 83 pitches through the first 5 innings of his outing today. 2-2 to Hedges. Crank foul off to the right, out of play. 98 that time from Carlos Martinez. Strike 3 call, and Hedges strikes out 2 down here in the 5th inning. 5th strikeout for Martinez, and back-to-back Ks here in the 5th.
You know, Mark Sweeney, it looks like Martinez is really mixing up pitches. You saw that right-handed hitting Blash get the changeup. He's broke out the slider this afternoon. He still has that fastball. So it's almost like you're in a situation where you don't know what pitch to really react to, and that one he gets the slider by Austin Hedges there.
Well, to me, you have to get vanilla, and why I say that is that you have to look for that fastball, control the fastball. If you're taking it for a strike, it's going to be a long day.
He had action in the Padres pen, but Perdomo batting for himself here. And that's strike 3. Striking out the side is Carlos Martinez. Blash, Hedges, and Perdomo all down by way of the K. His game summary, and today has been outstanding so far for Carlos Martinez, who has struck out 6 and in fact just struck out the side in order. A fly ball to left field that Perella could not catch. Off the bat of Yadier Molina that plates 2 for the St. Louis Cardinals. Called a hit and 2 RBIs. Scored Pham and DeYoung, and that is the difference in the game. We move to the 6th inning with St. Louis on top 2-0. And it is Yadier Molina who's going to lead it off here in the 6th inning. Luis Perdomo back on the mound. 83 pitches deep into his outing. Last 2 innings have been pretty taxing on him. The 2-run inning the Cardinals had, you just saw in the 4th inning, but they get out of a bases loaded jam in the 5th inning.
Be interesting to see how Luis reacts, because that was a pretty quick 1-2-3 inning for Carlos Martinez. Blash, Hedges, Perdomo.
And he had a hit. Sharply hit and just foul. Waves at that pitch and strikes out. Badly fooled there by Perdomo. 5th K for Luis Perdomo.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game be not disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres. For the love of Pete. I've got people in my face. I've got people in my ear.
A good read.
Did I get the disclaimer, guys?
Yes.
Did we disclaim everything? Okay,
something
good.
about disseminated.
Yeah.
We got a little.
Really?
Yeah.
Squirrely.
The decimation part of it.
Oh my gosh.
A little confusing.
Just so they get the gist of it.
Don't do it.
Did I get the without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres is prohibited?
That part was strong.
Oh, okay.
Strike 3 as Bader strikes out back-to-back Ks for Perdomo. 6 in all. 2 down here in the 6th inning.
Oh, look at the movement on this pitch here. He gets a call too. That's a hang with him. 0-2.
So 2 down here in the 6th inning brings up Greg Garcia, and a grounder foul outside of first. Greg Garcia has grounded out to second and grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. Kind of surrounded the plate, but not a strike.
I agree.
Check swing, did he go? No. Check with Todd Titchener, the third base umpire. So 2-1 here to Greg Garcia. Just a 4 between the Padres and the Cardinals. Padres fresh off taking 3 out of 4 from the LA Dodgers. On the ground and through left side, well placed. 2-out single for Greg Garcia.
Well, good hitters count at 3-1, and that's a 2-seamer that just stays up and stays inside it nicely.
So 2 down, Garcia at first base, and it brings up Randall Grichuk. Swinging a foul tip for strike 1. 18 home runs on the year for Grichuk. So that's out of the 8th spot in the Cardinals order. Line down the left field line, and Perella's not going to get it. It's by him quickly to the track of the wall. Garcia will be stopped at third. It's a double for Randall Grichuk. And all of a sudden, the Cardinals have something going with 2 down. Runners at second and third.
Well, Jose Perella in left field gets the advantage of the carom here. This ball, the one hop, right back to him. Spin and throw. Holding the runner at third base. 2 outs, second, third. And Luis Perdomo. Hope he can leave those 2 runners stranded.
2 on, 2 down. And Carlos Martinez, the pitcher, batting for himself, singled in the 3rd inning. So he's got 1 of the 7 St. Louis hits in this game. Pretty good hack right there.
Yeah, back-to-back at bats where he's tried to jump on that first pitch fastball. The single came on a slider in his first at bat.
Strike 2. 3rd straight inning here that Perdomo has had to work hard here. Some taxing innings, and pitch count nearing 100. Next pitch will be his 99th. Cardinals scored twice in the 4th, left the bases loaded in the 5th. Now 2nd and 3rd. Fouled off to the right, out of play.
Angels 9-6 over the A's. That's in the 6th. Final, Cincinnati over the Brewers 5-4. We talked about. How about the Mets winning big? 11-7 over the Phillies. That's a final. And the Buccos 5-0 in the 7th over the Cubs.
On the ground, back to Perdomo. He'll run a bit, and they run all the way. He does. Tags the bag at first to end the innings. The Cardinals leave 2 in scoring position, but lead it 2-0. Baseball brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. And by Sequan Casino, Padres Club Sequan members. Swipe your card at any kiosk at Sequan Casino for your chance to win a Will Myers Segway. Now we head to the last half of the 6th inning. Cardinals have a 2-0 advantage. Padres coming to bat in the top of their order. Manuel Margot in the air to center field, and Bader is in center to make the catch. Round number 1 of the 6th inning. Well, the future is certainly bright for the Padres. Take a look at some of the young Padres. Jose Perella, 294, 10 home runs. Manuel Margot, 13 home runs this year. And Carlos Eswaje, who is off today so far anyway, 274 this season for the Padres.
Well, nice showing from those three. Obviously, Jose Perella was not the guy that you expected. Came up and he's earned every bit of the playing time. 10th home run came yesterday.
Waits on deck here with 1 down in the 6th inning. And Carlos Eswaje, who has settled into the everyday spot at second base and has today off after playing both ends of the doubleheader and yesterday.
This offseason, Margot will be turning 23, Eswaje 26, Jose Perella 28.
Swing and a miss, and Ibar strikes out. 7 strikeouts for Carlos Martinez. 2 down here in the 6th inning.
Talk about spin rate, about getting on top of the baseball, through the baseball, extension. Great spin, great break.
2 down here in the 6th inning. Now 6 in a row retired by Martinez, and brings up Jose Perella. Strike call, didn't get timeout from Adam Hamari, the home plate umpire. He asked for it, but was not granted timeout. Fouls it back to the screen, still 0-2.
Yeah, see, he already started his delivery. That's the umpire's prerogative. Does not have to grant him time.
And Perella strikes out to end the inning. That's 8 strikeouts for Carlos Martinez. 2-0 St. Louis.
Top of the 7th inning. The day is over for Luis Perdomo, but a nice job he did at going to the 6th inning for the 9th time in a row. How did he do it? He stayed out of the big inning. He worked out of some jams. He worked out of a 2nd and 3rd situation in the 4th, bases loaded in the 5th. He stranded 2 again in the 6th, guys. And this goes right to what we were talking about before the ball game. Luis Perdomo staying focused, staying under control in the key clutch moments to keep this game close and stay out of that big inning, and pitching over a little bit of shaky defense, I think, that we saw there in the 4th inning. Guys, another strong effort by Perdomo.
Yeah, I would agree, Scan. It could have been an error called out there on Perel. As it turned out, he was granted a hit and 2 runs scored. Pitching change brought to you by El Cajon Ford as Phil Maton comes into the game for San Diego.
Bob Scanlon, thank you very much. I totally agree with you. And Don, agree with you as well on that play. And Bob, just to elaborate what he was talking about, we've seen that Luis Perdomo is starting to learn not to press in situations. Stay within yourself. We always hear that phrase when you're coming up as a minor leaguer. If you're in sports, stay within yourself. Try not to do too much. And I think Luis has learned that.
Well, I agree with you 100%. It's so easy for us to talk about it and say, hey, just stay calm in that situation. But the natural tendency is to try to do more, right? And in doing more, oftentimes the ball flattens out. What was impressive to me today, Mud, also, was the fact that there were a couple times where he was able to rear back and get an extra couple miles an hour, but he stayed within himself. It was controlled extra velocity with good late movement, and I think that's a great sign in his ability to not only focus but control himself physically in those tough situations.
Yeah, I like the controlled aggression.
Yep.
That's a good way of putting it.
Nice step for the young man.
Yep.
Ends up going 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, walked 3 and struck out 6. Sandy Green and the Padres in the game here as we move along to the 7th inning, and Phil Maton taking over, dealing with Alex Mejia, who took over at third base for Matt Carpenter. 2-2 pitch. Ball 3, full count. Phil Maton first out of the pen. Miguel Diaz had also been warming up in the Padres pen earlier. Swing and a miss, and Maton strikes out Mejia to begin things in the 7th inning.
That fastball had a little cut to it as well. The 4-seamer just at the end, just a little bit. And Phil Maton is known to throw that high fastball. Tough to square it up. He gets punchy.
1 down here in the 7th, and it brings up Tommy Pham. A couple hits today for Pham. Single to center, single in the infield to short, has a stolen base and a run scored. There's a strike, 1-1. Fastball picking up that corner. Seven strikeouts for Padres pitching today, 6 for Perdomo, 1 for Maton so far. He jumps ahead here, 1-2.
You can see what Phil is trying to do. All 3 pitches down and away. Fastballs, sliders to Tommy Pham. Outfield is playing to go that way as well. Jabari Blash shaded a little bit more towards the line than towards the gap in right field. High fastball here.
Struck him out. Back-to-back Ks for Phil Maton. 2 down here in the 7th inning.
Nothing like a good old-fashioned fastball in the outer half with some giddy up, and he's behind on that one.
2 down here in the visiting half of the 7th, and Paul DeYoung coming up. DeYoung has struck out swinging, walked and scored, and last time up was hit by a pitch. All that was against Luis Perdomo. Strike 1. Another reason Matt Carpenter left the game today for the Cardinals, right shoulder tendonitis. That's why Alex Mejia took over for him at third base. There's a grounder, lots of spin, right side. Solarte. Myers gets over to cover, and that's the out that'll end the top of the 7th inning. 7th inning stretch, 2-0 Cardinals. 7th inning stretch, and it is brought to you by Hyundai. Well, it is on to the bottom of the 7th inning. Padres trailing 2-0. Dazzling today on the mound so far for the Cardinals has been Carlos Martinez. 6 shutout innings, has allowed only 2 hits to the Padres. Single to center for Margot, single to left for Will Myers. And it is strike 1 to Yangervis Solarte to begin things here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Quickly down 0-2.
Yeah, the Padres have not been able to get Martinez into the stretch. I mean, they did start off the game on that error. Hopefully something was going to be made of it, but not the case.
Got 8 strikeouts, has not walked anybody. On the ground to first baseman Jose Martinez. He'll take it himself to the bag for out number 1. Martin Maldonado with not 1 but 2 home runs today for the Angels against the Oakland A's. 9-7 lead for the Angels against the Athletics. All these games so important for the Angels right now as they're part of the wild card mix in the American League.
Game and a half out going in today. I picked them to grab a wild card spot. That's just my feeling. Mike Trout now has reached base, 15 to 21 plate appearances, 10 for 16. He's turning it on.
One out. Will Myers batting. He's got one of the 2 Padres hits today. We're talking about the wild card and the Angels game and a half back. Yankees and Twins holding spots right now. Yankees did win today, beating Baltimore. The Orioles are 2 games back, and the Mariners 2.5. To center, and Myers with his 2nd hit of the day. Well, coming around offensively here last week or so, and Myers aboard with 1 out in the 7th inning.
Well, what have we learned from today's 2 pitchers as we take a look at pitches up in the zone? They are mostly effective when they're down in the zone, going up, but you got to go way up to be effective. That pitch is left up, and Will Myers just muscles that one to center field for the safety.
1 out, 1 on, and Corey Spangenberg coming up. Spangenberg has struck out swinging and grounded out to second base, 0 for 2. Shows bunt and drops it down foul. Well, some defensive changes for the Cardinals as Stephen Piscotty has come into the game in right field for St. Louis. And moving from right to left is Randall Grichuk with Tommy Pham coming out of the game. Fouled off 0-2. Martinez at 98 miles an hour. On the corner for strike 3. Spangenberg will take with him the 9th strikeout for Carlos Martinez of the day. 2 down.
That is some kind of nasty. The backdoor breaking ball to get Spangenberg 0-2. That's exactly where Molina wanted it. Wow.
Two down here in the 7th inning, and Jabari Blash. Line to left. Grichuk coming in to make the catch. That ends the inning. Solid contact, but right at the left fielder. 2-0 Cardinals.
The Giants hit a dramatic walk-off walk.
Well, Corey Guerin probably took his time throwing that 3-0 pitch. It's a walk-off for the Rockies. They needed this win because they have struggled, obviously, against the Giants. Giants have struggled all year long, but the Rockies needed this win.
Yeah, you wonder if they're going to be able to hang on for that second wild card spot right now. Milwaukee breathing down their neck. The Cardinals right there in the hunt for it as well. Mark and I working on Padres Live, the post-game show, which will be brought to you by Cox Communications. When we see you today, guys, after the final out, we're going to talk about today's ball game. Boy, nice job by Luis Perdomo working through some trouble. We'll have that. Carlos Martinez right now, the highlight reel of this ball game. Also hear from Andy Green, and we'll get you set for game 2 after the final out. Don and Mark.
All right, thanks very much, Mike and Mark, as we play along to the 8th inning. We're talking about the wild card scenario right now, and it is the Brewers a game and a half back. Cardinals 3.5 back, who are here today with Arizona and Colorado holding the top spots right now with under a month left to play. Padres move on to their third pitcher of the day, Jose Valdez, into the game.
Well, recall Friday from AAA El Paso. It's the 6th time this season for Jose. There you see the combined numbers. Pretty good. I mean, really good against lefties, but righties hitting .310.
Jose Martinez leading it off and taking a ball outside. Phil Maton pitched a shutout inning. 2 strikeouts and a ground out for Maton. Sixth time this year that Valdez has been called up. .23 games for El Paso, and ERA over 5 at 5.02.
Yeah, I remember when Jose was up earlier, when he was effective, he was burying that slider down and away for strikes, and then off the plate for swings and misses, and of course the location of the fastball. Man, if he can hone in and get those crosshairs and locate that 97, should have some success. This is a big outing for him, though. Hold the Redbirds at 2.
Strike 2, 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him to chase on a pitch running down and away at 98. So that is strikeout number 1 for Jose Valdez. 1 down to the 8th inning. Now tomorrow night, game 2 of a 4-game series between the Padres and the Cardinals. Michael Wacha will be on the mound, looking for his 11th win. 10-7, 4.20 ERA for the Cardinals. Travis Wood goes for the Padres. He could even up that record, 3-4. Cardinals and Padres. We'll get you started at 6:30 with Padres Live. And then game 2 of the series. Just outside for ball 1 to Yadier Molina. Cardinals catcher batting for the 4th time today. Line out to center, single to left, and struck out. Single to left in the 4th inning, drove in 2 runs. Skies this one foul down the right field line, out of play. The 1-1 is outside for ball 2. Two-one pitch. On the ground to short. Ibar to his left. Secures it and throws to first in plenty of time. Yadier Molina is out number 2 of the 8th inning. We saw Carpenter leave with an injury earlier in the game, and now Tommy Pham has left the game with right shoulder soreness. So the Cardinals got some banged up guys. Two of their regulars going down today, coming out of the game. Nice day for Perdomo. 6 innings, 2 runs, 7 hits. Walked 3, struck out 6 as of right now, as well as he pitched. Currently on the hook. And came in at 7 and 8. Fly ball center field off the bat of Bader. And back there to make the catch is Margot. In front of the warning track. We head to the bottom of the 8th. St. Louis on top 2-0. At 17 Subaru Impreza. Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 28 miles per gallon. More than a car, it's a Subaru. And by Petco, where the pets go. And leading it off here, a pinch hitter for the Padres, trying to get something going against Carlos Martinez in the last of the 8th. It is Carlos Suaje. Suaje on the bench until now, and taking a pitch down and in that has him ahead 2-0. It's pitch hitting for Austin Hedges. 274, 4 homers and 18 runs batted in. Ball 3, 3-0.
Oh, he'll work the count with the best of them now. We've seen that.
Well, this is the first 3-ball count on the day for Carlos Martinez. There's a strike, 3-1. Picks up that outside corner, actually inside corner. Victor Sanchez has come out on deck. He would pinch hit as well. Ball 4 and a good start here to the 8th inning. Pinch hitter Suaje walks to begin the bottom of the 8th. That's the first walk allowed today by Carlos Martinez.
Well, we've heard the phrase bloop in a blast. A walk, in my book, is a bloop. Here's a guy coming up to the plate who can turn around a fastball with the best of them, Hector Sanchez. And I'm talking about the blast.
Sanchez pinch hitting in the pitcher's spot, so hitting here for Jose Valdez. .235, 8 homers, 23 runs batted in. And a chopper to first base. Martinez will go to second for 1. Back to first for 2. Well, the pitcher Carlos Martinez over to cover after Jose Martinez starts the double play, and they complete it. 2 down here in the 8th inning. And well, Margot coming up. Base is empty now. Thanks to the first double play turn today by St. Louis. Well, Margot reached on an error committed by the shortstop Paul DeYoung in the first. Single to center in the third and flied out to center in the sixth inning. Or fewer earned runs. Most consecutive starts, 27 of them now. Jake Arrieta, former Cy Young Award winner for the Cubs, also at 27. And Max Scherzer with 26. Got your Yadier Molina out there to talk, I guess, or get some rosin, one or the other.
You know what I gathered from that? Molina didn't even look at him. Maybe he's lit a fire under him or something. He went directly past Martinez to the rosin bag, said something, didn't even look at him. I'm guessing he kind of aired him out maybe a little bit. He went out, made his point, and back behind home plate.
Ball four, and he loses Margot with 2 down. Second walk of the inning allowed by Carlos Martinez. Second time this inning, the Padres will bring the tying run to the plate. And this time it's Eric Ibar.
Hey, maybe he just was going out to give him some time after covering first base also. That's one way of looking at it. Hustling over there, sprinting. Going out, buying some time for his pitcher. I'll bet you that's what it was.
Ibar has lined out to center, flied out to center, and struck out swinging. Pulls it over foul for strike one. Ibar, a .311 hitter against the Cardinals in his career. His 7th home run of the year yesterday. That's 7 home runs, incidentally, ties a career high for him. Set in 2014 with the Angels, and yesterday doing it off Alex Wood. Oh, a couple of home runs given up by Wood yesterday.
Yeah, you miss something off speed and up, and Ibar will turn it around on you.
Outside for ball 2, 2-1. And now let's bring out Derek Lilliquist, the pitching coach.
Tell you what, I had a chance to talk with Derek in the coach's room before the game. He and I were the principals in the 1990 trade that sent me to the Braves and Derek to the Padres. I tell you what, the Padres got the better end of that deal when they got Lilliquist. They got rid of my act.
Exactly. Last trade he made, right?
Yeah.
I think that was the end. I mean, that's the reason that was the last trade he made.
Last trade.
Action in the pen. Lions up. Left-hander for the Cardinals. First time you've seen any kind of action out there is Martinez. He's been dealing all day. He's walked 2 here in the inning, the double play. And a runner at first now as Ibar lifts a pop-up. Foul ground. Mejia will make the catch. That will end the inning. We will head for the 9th from Petco Park with the Cardinals on top 2-0. And Carlos Martinez is that guy. 8 shutout innings from the right-hander for St. Louis today. He has struck out 9 along the way and didn't walk anybody until he got into the 8th inning. Did walk 2, but get out of it unscathed. And just shy of 100 pitches so far today at 98, but he's been dazzling.
He's got the whole toolbox working today. The fastball up around 97, 98. He's got that biting slider. He broke out the changeup when needed. And he's a good one. And then on the other side, don't forget about Luis Perdomo. I mean, he pitched well also. Those 2 runs in the 4th. Kept him in the ball game, struck out 6 in 6 innings of work.
Kyle McGrath into the game for San Diego. 7th appearance for the left-hander.
Well, this left-hander is a soft tosser. The Redbird hitter is going to have to really stay back, let the ball travel. Recall Friday from AAA El Paso. Getting an inning of work here. Hold him at 2.
Greg Garcia leads it off, shows bunt, and takes a strike over the outside corner. Hector Sanchez stays in the game, does the catching. Well, this is Wahe also staying in the game. He pinch hit as well. He's now at second base, and moving from second to short is Yangervis Solarte. Fly ball to center. Manuel Margot is positioned very well and ducks back to handle out number 1 of the 9th inning. Closed captioning is brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. One down in the 9th, and it brings up Randall Grichuk, who started the game in right field but since has moved to left field. 8 in a row retired by Padres pitching right now. The combination of Maton, Valdez, and McGrath. Strike 1. Grichuk has grounded to short, walked, and last time up double. He's got 1 of 7 Cardinals hits on the afternoon. To left field in the air, and Perella going back shy of the track into the shadows. He'll make the catch out there for out number 2. Light Towers casting shadows in the left field corner, and it's out number 2. Carlos Martinez going to try and go the distance today. Going to hit for himself. With 2 down here in the 9th. Mentioned has not yet gotten to 100 pitches, sitting at 98. So he's going to try and go the distance. Has a hit today at the plate, singling in the 3rd inning. He's grounded out twice. 1 for 3 day for him. Strike 1. Strike 2. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 9th inning, Jose Perella. Got Yangervis Solarte and Will Myers. Anybody gets on, and Corey Spangenberg will have a chance. Deficit is 2 right now for the Padres.
Bounce another one here.
Swing and a miss, and McGrath strikes out Martinez. 10 in a row retired by Padres pitching, trailing 2-0. Padres. We get ready for the bottom of the 9th inning, and Carlos Martinez trying to go the distance. He's got to face Perella, Solarte, and Myers to get it done. The collective numbers for them. Myers with a couple of hits off of him. Trying to pick up his second complete game of the year. The Cardinals as a team have 2. Martinez with 1, and tomorrow night starting pitcher Michael Wacha with the other. So 98 pitches as he starts the bottom of the 9th inning. Jose Perella has had no success against Martinez today. He is 0 for 3 at the plate. Lined out to second, popped out to short, and last time up struck out swinging. 1 of 9 strikeouts today for Martinez, who falls behind here 2-0. Wondering about the velocity. It's still there. 97 miles an hour on that last pitch, and an even hundo now for Carlos Martinez.
Remember I talked about his last outing against the Brewers, 5 2/3 innings, where he gave up 10 hits. He threw 101 pitches in that game, his last start. Now, he could smell the CG, right? He could smell it. The adrenaline starts pumping. That could work to the advantage of the Padres. You get a walk here, a hit there. There is action in the Redbird pen.
4-pitch walk begins things here in the 9th inning. That'll work, and Perella down to first base. Third walk that Martinez has given up, and 3 have come in the last inning plus. That was back on June 10th against the Phillies, the complete game that he had earlier this season. Trying to get his second. And Hervis Solarte standing in. 0 for 3 today against Martinez. And Hervis does not like strike 1. Well, July of 2015, July 4th, getting a home run off Martinez was Yangervis Solarte. It's a fly ball this time to center field. Bader coming in and under. Makes the catch for out number 1 of the 9th inning. One on, and Will Myers coming up.
You know, I just looked at my scorecard. Every time Martinez has allowed a base runner this afternoon, the next batter made an out.
Will Myers today has flied out to right, singled to left, and singled to center. So Will has 2 of the 3 hits allowed today by Carlos Martinez. Strike 1. Strike 2. Myers went around.
Tell you what, you expect that 2-seamer in, then you get the slider down and away. Tough to hold up.
Ball 1, 1 and 2. At first for Perella, held on over there by Jose Martinez. Myers strikes out looking. 2 down in the 9th.
Well, tying right at the plate, Will Myers. What does he have to battle against? How about 0-1 the fastball, the slider 0-2. Here's a slider off the plate, 1-2, and another slider taken, 1-3. Big out for Martinez.
10th strikeout of the day for Carlos Martinez. 2 down, and Corey Spangenberg will hit a little number in front of the plate. Yadier Molina fires to first, and that's the ball game. The complete game shutout for Carlos Martinez as the Cardinals take game 1 of the 4-game series. Martinez throws 109 pitches and goes the distance for the second time this season. It's time for Padres Live. What's in store, Mike Pomerantz?
Well, Donnie, what Mark and I see in just a couple of moments, we're going to talk about just how good Carlos Martinez was. You'll hear from Andy Green, and we'll get you set for game 2 when Travis Wood will take the hill. We'll see you in just a couple of moments.